strongest support in this game. He could make things happen, especially if you get a courier snipe, so you just got to watch that. But it's closer to me. I think it's the same story, though. TNC need the early lead if they're going to win the game.
All right, good stuff. Let's head into game number 3, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy this one. TNC versus Secret.
Oh, we've got a special treat for you, ladies and gentlemen. That last pick, Wyvern, it's going to be a core. It's going to be an off-lane Winter Wyvern. Ice would be proud of Team Secret today.
You are so hyped about this core Wyvern.
I mean, I'll be honest. I'm pretty sure I'm the only one of all the talent to have any experience to talk about a core Winter Wyvern. I thought it was a meme, but apparently Secret doesn't feel like it's a meme.
This is a interesting game because, again, it's another departure from what we've seen all tournament, and more importantly, they're playing against this Sven, who, if I read correctly, is like 16-3 in this tournament so far.
Yeah. He had an 83% win rate before last game.
Yeah, and that one of those games like was played by Alliance, who, for the most part, got shut out.
No. They won. The two games they won against LGD.
Yeah, but they lost with Secret.
Oh, okay.
In a game where they should have won. So this hero could be like up to like 86%.
All right. Well, on the other side of things, we do have the TNC lineup with the last pick Alchemists. I mean, it's always dangerous when you see these later picks and you have like a game-winning hero like Alk. Is this a free game for it?
I think it's a very good out game. Like, theoretically, as long as you can get past the early game relatively unscathed, it should be a pretty good out game. There's not a ton of burst damage, and that's usually what he hates. There is some good sustainable fight, and if this lifesteal has a very good game, that's the way that I see this Alchemist losing. Like, if he gets Deso, Armlet, and just runs at this Alk and takes these fights, then I could see the Alk losing. But when it comes to these sustained team fights, I think the Alk is very good here.
Absolutely, and I think that's one of the most dangerous things about Team Secret is that we saw the same kind of look from them game 1 and game 2, but they always can go ultra aggressive and run at you if they want to, and they're going to try and pull that off against TNC, while TNC have opted for the later game draft for sure.
And once again, this is going to be actually going to be 2 bounty routes this time.
Oh, Cuckoo. He does.
It's going to be 3.
He did manage to nab 1, so it's going to be 3 bounty runes for TNC.
Especially for an Alk on your team.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look at that lead already.
I can't believe Team Secret didn't do more to protect against that bounty advantage.
You'd consider like the Ogre going aggro there, so you could at least get going 3 for 1 against an Alk feels really good when it comes to bounty runes, because then it sets you about even.
Yeah.
But I mean, we'll see. Mid 1 has to do a lot of work in this game too. An early BKB would be a very big pickup for him as well. But again, it's this aggression from the Sven. What I do like about TNC's draft, by the way, is you're forcing Secret to consistently give you a different look. Because I feel like that was OG's failing, is OG was like, you guys set the tempo and we'll pick around it. We'll let you guys get your good stuff because we know what exactly you're going to do. This time around, TNC's like, none of that. Play a completely different game.
And simultaneously, we're going to have TNC. I mean, they've shown in the past that they can play up against aggressive lineups, but they're going to have to show that with a slower kind of lineup that they know when to be able to defend towers and when they know just to let things go and let Team Secret, when they hit their timing, just take some towers and play for farm.
Yeah, and it feels like by picking the Alk, you put Secret in a position where Secret usually puts teams into, where you have to be aggressive on the map, do things early on, choke out the jungle, and then let them come into you.
YapzOr doing a good job of pulling the creep wave behind the tower, and Cuckoo is trying to do something similar here, but it's a lot harder when you're a solo offlaner, because what the safe lane carry does is typically try and just pull the creep wave to match you wherever you go. Cuckoo does manage to kind of juke it out and will be able to get a creep wave in front of his tower. That's exactly where he wants this to be.
Good deny so far from this TA, and she needs to get off to a blazing start.
Yeah. 8-4 compared to the 4-2 the Alchemist. That just about offsets the early bounty runes advantage that the Alchemist had. And you don't even have like a ton of time where you can go and try and gank this Alchemist, because you know he's going to start playing jungle at some point.
Yeah. And you still need to pressure in the other lanes. Like, Cuckoo's still having a really good time here at bottom.
Yeah.
There's so many creeps under the tower that's going to hit into Nisha, so he's getting bloodlusted and he's just trying to aggro, but with this many creeps, it's really hard for Puppey to just right-click Cuckoo.
Oh yeah, because Legion Commander is already a hero that can man-fight against Lifestealer. You have your own source of regen, thanks to Moment of Courage. You're able to take off open wounds with the press the attack. And then you can also remove Ignite as well. So Puppey doesn't even feel that comfortable just going max Ignite and spamming that against you. Zai's going to be kind of blocked in here, takes some damage. Doesn't have press the attack yet, though, so they're going to go for that kill and will be able to get it. That's Nisha with the first blood.
Nice early kill lead for them, and they absolutely needed something like that. And this mid lane, this TA is now just starting to crush Armel as he's getting really low. He's got to be careful. He's got to go for this.
He's got a healing salve. He can pop it now to get one more hit in. That's enough to survive. A close call.
That's going to ruin his lane here and almost get side-bladed. He's got to be careful about this. Mid one also dipping pretty low here. So Armel's sticking around, but the courier, you see, is quite far away from the rest of the base.
He might as well run backwards. Catch the courier when it's halfway through.
I can't believe he was that greedy, though.
Yeah.
For Armel to stay in that position, because if he's able to reset, he leaves half a second earlier, he pops his salve, then he's in a great position against the TA. He'd probably get this next wave straight up. But by going for it right there,
so
now
what
Cuckoo gets the purge.
Is Tim's, like, I guess he's kind of stacking up and jungling a little bit right now. He's been most of the time trying to shut down Zai with this defensive tri-lane. They're going to go onto Zai again here. Cold embraces himself just to heal up. Imagine he will be fine, but limps back behind the tier 1 tower, and still another 40 seconds till the shrine is up, so he might as well just go back to the fountain.
I think the reason he's doing this is because he knows the Alk is the win condition, trying to get him in an early lead and just stacking up.
Yeah.
And also, in the laning phase, Treants don't really do too much, I think, to this Lifestealer once he has levels. Same with Puppey. Ogre is one of the best support heroes at being able to deal with it. You've got an Ignite. You have 8 armor normally.
Yeah.
Bounty runes are coming up. They need to secure these outside of secret. It's very important.
It'd be worth it for Tim's to like almost suicide just to try and get this bounty rune. He's not going to as Nisha comes over to be a little bit too hard. He will secure two for two.
2 for 2 is perfectly fine as well.
Yeah.
Anytime you're getting an even trade on a hero like Alk, you're winning.
Alchemist has begun to play jungle now. Or sorry, no, that's oh, YapzOr's actually in there in that jungle area. Is he trying to take some of it or just... Yeah, he actually was taking some of the smaller creeps.
A good idea by
come behind
the lift.
Trying to go into Armel here. There's going to be the TP in from the Furion. Cancels it as he sees Armel. It's going to be fine. He's got a healing salve too, so he's not going to be out of lane for too long.
Doing a good job of slowing him down right now, mid one. Absolutely crushing the laning phase. Has more than double CS of this Alk. Almost got that solo kill we saw too.
He's got a level and a half over him right now. You know, I was saying the Alchemist was going to be jungling. I thought he was already, but he still does not have that chemical rage. Mid one's just gotten too many denies on him.
It's funny how passive these teams look in this matchup against each other, because normally they're very aggressive teams.
Yeah.
But it just feels like they're both reacting to the other's playstyle. TNC saying, like, you guys are normally a greedy team. We can be a greedy team as well. And Secret's like, it almost feels like they're counter-punchers. Like, they're going to wait for you to make the first move in, overcommit, and then they'll take what you give them, turn it around.
Really saw that from the OG series.
Yeah, exactly. And in this game, it's sort of being denied. And that's why we're having a completely different game. That's why we're having these, like, 1-0 at 6 minutes. Last game, we had it, like, 2-1 at 13. Because both teams are just waiting for the other to make the aggressive maneuver.
Right.
And the best part about an Alk is, like, one way or another, you're gonna get an aggressive game. Like, either the Alk's gonna get 6 slotted and start giving out ags, or you do something about it.
What are the big things to do about it? You either stop the Alchemist inside of his jungle, but he's playing in the triangle on top of his shrine, so it's not an easy gank. So instead, try and put pressure on the mid lane. See if you could take that mid-tier 1 tower nice and early, since the core is missing. But Tim's, with his Treants, is able to pull the creep wave off the tower, even get some CS for himself.
Now mid one's gonna go into the jungle here. try to just farm up as many creeps as he can, and this is going to trigger the Sven into TPing in. He's going to get the majority of this though, and now mid one stuck between two heroes, but Tim's going for the body block, but Sven.
Oh, Kuku's gonna come in as well. He does have a duel, so they can actually go for this kill. He's gonna wait a little bit. They burn through the refraction. The Fate Bolt's gonna slow down their damage. It doesn't look like they're gonna get the duel successfully, but they will still kill mid one and punish him for taking that hard camp stack.
And a great TP by the Sven. Was a little bit greedy of him to turn around to finish off the creeps. But Tim's was like, come over here. I've got the body block going. So Kuku TPs instead. Again, another win condition for Secret though is this Nisha Lifestealer.
Yep.
Who can largely ignore, I mean, he has a built-in BKB, so the Radiance won't be nearly as effective against him.
Again, they're gonna go for the Midas build for the Sven. Do you really want to do that? I mean, I feel like you've already got greedy enough with a Legion Commander and an Alchemist.
Yeah, but if you don't punish it, like essentially what you're doing is what Secret forces most teams to do, which is play aggressive or we'll win the game by being able to just build Midases and late game items.
Fortune Zen stun is going to catch him. He does have the Cold Embrace though, so it's going to require the Sven stun to come back in. He does have another round of it though. Man, they managed to get the block out with the Sprout as well. Gabby tried to go for the cleave hit. Now it's going to have to cut through the trees to be able to catch Zai. Zai seeing that is going to move up, but finally he's spotted. Gets in vision and is storm bolted to death.
You have this Wyvern, which I think is a cool concept, but it does mean that he's not some Sand King that can walk around the map getting kills and setting up on this Alchemist. He's sort of just going to sit there, get levels. He's got 1,900 net worth, barely has anything. They're going to protect this mid tower.
He's also kind of a slow hero, to be honest. With the maxed out Splinter Blast build, at least you're going to be able to to defend some towers and do some harassment, but typically, the Winter Wyvern core works where you need your level 10 talent first. You need to get that 60 GPM, or the 60 extra damage, as well as the maxed out Arctic Burn.
And that's what you're talking about at bottom lane, where Kuku, he can just get rid of the open wounds, reset the fight. He has his own lifesteal mechanic, which is just superior at this point against the level 1 beast.
Yeah.
And again, we're seeing Secret kind of forced into a position where their supports don't really have moves to make. This is an identical scoreline to what we saw in the previous game. This time around, though, mid-one's had a much better laning phase.
And you can go for the Fate Edict to try and get the deny in the mid tower. Unfortunately, misses it. Was just a little bit late. Gonna go for Kuku here in the bottom lane. Couldn't get close enough for the telekinesis.
The reset here is YapzOr.
Don't let him get that 10-minute bounty rune. Kuku will just run to the other one if they're gonna sit here. Or maybe he'll go for the power rune. It's not anywhere they can find. So Secret do manage to grab 3.
This time around, Secret a little bit more aggressive here for the bounty runes, and I think it's because of the pressure that they have on them. And TNC have a very greedy lineup, though.
Yeah.
You have 2 supports that don't have hard stuns. You have Kuku playing a Legion Commander, which is not a hero that likes playing from behind.
Legion Commander needs to be able to win his lane and then start building up some of the dual damage. Even then, it doesn't really become a strong team fighter until you've got 2 or 3 items. The Furion, not the best team fighter either. Wrath of Nature being buffed up so many times does help.
This TNC, they've evolved this playstyle. And I can't imagine them trying this against any other team. Because Secret also, I mean, they've got a Midas on their Lifestealer, so why not?
Yeah, with the Sven going for the Hand of Midas, Lifestealer knows this game. He's going to leave it to mid one to speed up the pace, and you can see he's taking the mid tier 1 tower, pushes in the lane, goes top, takes that tower now. TNC not bothering to defend, and instead just jungling.
They're going to want an early Rosh on the side of Secret. Yeah. You want to push the pace of this game. If you're not going to do it in the laning phase, it has to come in the form of the mid game. You also see that the Lifestealer has the armlet, like we talked about, queued up. No Radiance build for him this game, which I think is the correct idea. Yeah. He's instead going to go for the armlet into the AC because his TA, of course, already has the Deso.
And if you want to be able to take Roshan, those are the perfect towers to take when you're on Radiant side, right? The mid tier 1 and the safe lane tier 1 are some of the best towers for controlling that Roshan area.
Normally, though, when you take these towers, you hopefully want to get some aggressive vision in onto the triangle. Because right now, that's where the Sven and Alk are just splitting time.
Yeah.
And what makes Sven, for me, so broken is that he can farm like this, but he can wear so many different hats. can have him farm, but he can also, with just 2 items, run at you nonstop. And that's why I think the Midas build is so good on him is Cuckoo gonna get caught.
Cuckoo could potentially turn around here. He's gonna be saved from some magic damage by the Fate's Edict.
And he wanted it.
Yeah. It, like, you know, if you just had one core that could actually play with the Legion Commander, you know, you could go for those kind of duels. But as it is, just kind of an Oracle showing up, and Sven and Alchemist were like, you don't have time for that.
We are just gonna farm.
Gotta hit creeps.
It's Gabby. I think he realized.
Maybe gonna go for the dive here. There, it's gonna be the Winter Wyvern coming in. It's a great Winter's Curse setup. They're gonna be able to grab right next to the Sven. So he starts banging in. He didn't manage to get the Warcry off, so Cuckoo's not gonna die right away.
Great fight.
He's gonna be saved by the Oracle underneath this tier 1 tower. It's a disaster for TNC. Cuckoo's gonna be able to get away with a TP. Is he actually gonna heal up enough? It looks like he will. Cuckoo, thanks to the bottle as well as the fountain regen, will be fine, but Team Secret can just keep moving fast like this. They get a successful tower defense, win a fight there, 4-man smoke up, move to the other side of the map, and lit it. Mid one, pressure another tower, just like he's been doing all game.
Really like this move by them and protecting each other. The Wyvern, a very good counter to the Sven right there. And the Winter's Curse, even though it didn't get the kill, it bought them enough time for everyone to filter in.
Yeah.
TNC felt like they had to make some sort of move to get some map openings for this Alchemist. The idea being, you kill the Rubik right there, you take the tower, all of a sudden your Alch has another space in the map to farm, so does your Sven.
What did we do with that smoke? It doesn't look like they got a ton of aggressive vision down. I guess they just got positioning where everyone can spread across the map and start farming and pushing in lanes again.
Yeah, but this is still a very late Radiance.
Yes,
I remember I played
is.
a pub game with Kyle and Insania, and he asked us, he's like, guys, is a 16-minute Radiance treads on Alch good? And we were like, no, we probably lost.
And did you lose?
Yes, Kyle was a terrible Alch. Anytime anybody asks me, like, is a post 14-minute Radiance any good? No.
And Armel is going to suffer the same fate, it seems, since he's still, I mean, his laning phase just got so crushed. Not being able to get that early level 6, then the TA taking that hard camp stack really ruins him as well.
Yeah, they're doing a good job of just doing this, like, guerrilla hit and run style, get into the jungle, deny this. And the early Roche, as mentioned.
An early Roshan like this feels so good, not just for this timing, but the timing of the second Roshan. That's actually something you can go and maybe hit a tier 3.
And there's 2 ways to stop the Alch again. It's either ruin his laning phase, which they sort of did. If you win the laning phase all around, or you just get into this mid-game situation where you're super strong.
Tim's, maybe he saw this coming a while away. Spam the Roshan line. He already had that queued up with a little surrender white flag.
Yeah, he knew. It was,
he knew going into this game that they were not going to be...
They're not contesting Roche. That's... It's the funny part about Alch strats, because Dota is such a fluid game, but Alch strats mean there's only one thing happening.
Yeah.
And that's let your Alchemist farm with this Radiance, give up objectives as they're going to get aggressive here.
For him to die, they do it. The press attack. Telekinesis immediately afterward. There's another strong dispel coming out from AU as he managed to get the false promise. All this damage over time on the mid one. Is bringing him low, bringing him fast. Almost enough to finish off that damage, but not quite. Now Winter's Curse onto the Alchemist to make sure he can't pursue the rest of TMC. And a semicircle around Armel. They're going to lead things off. They're going to try and go for Puppey. There's going to be the cold embrace. They just stall things out on non-stop. And Nisha's quite low. They're going to go for the duel onto him. He does have the open wound, so he's life stealing a good amount, but eventually they do win that duel for the Legion Commander. So they couldn't finish off the Aegis for mid one, but they do at least buy themselves 30 seconds where the life stealer is dead. And TNC can return to farming.
That felt like a sloppy fight.
Yes.
Secret. They go under the Alch in a tier 2. They use the Winter's Curse to try to disengage, but Nisha didn't really get the memo, so he turns back around to try to get aggressive. But he's all by himself, and Cuckoo with great positioning.
Oh, now Puppey's out of position. They're going to chain stun him. Even a little bit extra nukes coming out from the Oracle.
They can't afford to lose heroes like this. This is their
absolutely not. They especially can't let their backline be attacked first, as that Radiance burn is hurting. It's turning bad. YapzOr trying to get away. The Splinter Blast to be able to slow down Cuckoo. They do manage to get that Fortune's End Dispel immediately on the open wound, so Cuckoo's going to be okay. Managed to run away from the Lifestealer just in time. Mid one's going to come back in, saying lay the death. So careful, Cuckoo! Careful, the side blade hit! Tim's was dead, but mid one picks up the extra kill on the Cuckoo. Now he's going to get AU as well. Mid one grabs the Desolator and shows up big time for the team fight.
That's one of those situations where you expect the other guy to move, and neither of them did. Mid one got the freest lineup of his life, and all of a sudden, they can broach this high ground now. The Alk has to come back. He has to start being in front here with his acid spray, and this wouldn't be possible if they were able to pop that 30 HP TA with Aegis.
Yeah.
They wouldn't risk this.
They can't give up their tier 3 this early. If they lose their tier 3, they lose their shrines, that's going to be huge. Press the attack going on Armel. He's taking so much damage. Get with the rage a little bit more. Not quite enough. He is going to be able to get back, and mid one's going to lose his Aegis life. That's a successful duel for Cuckoo. Once again, Tim, Gabby, AU going for that backline as quick as possible. They've already killed YapzOr. They're going to scare away Zai to make sure that mid one has no help. He's going to die here. There goes the winner's curse. Zai's going to TP away, but again, such good positioning by TNC coming in, getting the squishy heroes, killing YapzOr, and then pushing Zai back so he couldn't get a good winner's curse or a good cold embrace.
And they didn't have vision from behind. So everybody from TNC, they just backstab. They can't follow the TA in that situation. Very nice duel by Cuckoo. Isolates him from the rest of the squad.
Yeah, they chose for that push. They pushed the ward up onto the high ground inside the base instead of trying to get vision on their shrine.
Yeah, you need vision of the triangle right there. And TNC, I mean, a free fight for them. And the worst feeling is you know that you can't make these kinds of mistakes. That was your Aegis fight. You take that tier 3 tower, you're backing, you're able to take the shrines, and that move just can't be possible. But we see here again as the spill.
The lineup there.
I mean, Cuckoo thought that
just
Tim's
run
was
left,
gonna go
man.
up.
Yeah, just run left, run up, like just. He probably may have caught him still with Force Staff. And what do you think of that choice? I wanted to talk about it, but then the game sped up so much.
I mean, the idea is that he wants Hurricane Pike against Sven.
Yeah.
As they're gonna maybe find Puppey here. They have duel.
They do have Zai closing in. He doesn't have the winner's curse with the duel. The cold embrace, they're going to be able to make sure that Cuckoo doesn't get the extra damage. Might even save Puppey here, or at least significantly delay his death. But Gabby, he doesn't want the ogre. He wants Zai. He wants that winner's wyvern. But unfortunately, the winner's curse goes down.
Dies.
Armel, a telekinesis and a desolator mid one. That's enough to quickly kill that alchemist in mid lane.
Yeah, with the acid spray. What they were trying to do is they were afraid of Zai, so they split up, but they just didn't have enough damage. Most of their damage is physical. Both of their cores only dealing physical damage. So I think that's the main reason they picked this Wyvern core. They're not trying to do it in the DPS form with the Arctic Burn. It's more just a countermeasure to disrupt the burst damage of Sven, which I think is a really good idea, especially once Sven gets BKB.
I feel like from this point onward, Alchemist just has to have good cold embrace before the stun. He has to have no winner's curse. There's going to be telekinesis. YapzOr was there fast enough with a blink dagger.
Secret riding the ship right now. They're going to get the BKB on the TA. They really need that for those high ground attempts. Tim's not going to get gone on. He's going to go for the TP out. Should be just fine. Not enough damage on this Lifestealer just yet, as there's a lot of armor on this Nature's Prophet, and he's going to start building even more. Gonna try to go for the Solar Crest. It's all about keeping this Alk alive. He has the Vlads for him for that armor. I really like Secret's idea right now with the mass minus armor. Got a medallion on Puppey, a Deso on your TA, an AC queued up on this Lifestealer. It's usually where Alk's very weak, the armor department, and instead of going for the Octarine core, that's why he's gonna go for the Shivas. He understands that he has to pivot 8 to 20 minutes. Of course, anytime you're close in net worth to an Alk lineup, that usually feels like you're winning.
TNC did this last time with Tim's, opting to get some vision up in that side high ground, just to make sure they can take a good team fight here.
Still anyone's game right now, Secret, with the net worth lead.
The GPM of the Winter Wyvern plus the Splinter Blast farming. We do have a Spirit Vessel against the Alk. He's got Manta though.
He needs armor though.
Yeah.
That's really where his hero lacks at this point.
That means we'll probably, do you think next item Shivas, right?
Yeah.
It's your usual build.
BKB is finished by mid one. This is going to be their timing right now. I don't think that you're necessarily waiting for very many items. Nisha gets his AC.
Oh, they're setting up on the Lifestealer right now, but they need the Legion Commander, and she's the last one to TP in right now. Nisha should just be able to at least infest and buy himself some time. Jumps into one of these treants. He can't really take control of it, so he's just going to have to run the treants backwards, but that's long enough for Secret to get here. They're going to be able to get to Cuckoo immediately. Kills him. Now the infest pop out to be able to slow down Armel. He is going to get this dispel. Can turn around, go for the uncoction, but he's stunned up first. He may actually stun himself. In fact, he just died.
Oh, no.
Double damage of mid one. Gets the back line. They're going to get the Nature's Prophet here. Tim's showed himself for a moment. They immediately pounce on him. TNC getting bodied in so many fights now.
That was so well done by Secret. And it was just Nisha urging his teammates to come, and they have a siege wagon to continue this push too. With no Alk for 30 to defend this tower, Secret should go for the high ground.
Yeah, this Sven immediately went to cut the creep waves, but it only takes one creep to take down backdoor protection. They could go for the tier 3 in mid, finish that off nice and easy.
And you saw AU with the ulti onto the Alk illusion.
Oh,
that feels so bad as they're gonna make their move onto the Nature's Prophet.
Tim's, he's dead. No press the attack from Cuckoo. An Alchemist up in 2 seconds, but this melee barracks will fall.
The Alk is coming back with Secret.
And with a BKB on mid one, he can certainly commit here. Cuckoo dropping low. Armel finally showing up and pushing Secret back. Gabby is right behind him with a Blink Dagger. Does manage to get the successful stun onto the Lifestealer, but they can't commit for him because of the AC.
And it's the Wyvern that makes these fights so complicated for TNC. This was a brilliant pick. It makes it so they can't just run in with the Sven like they're used to. In the previous game, Gabby just has a free run at anybody.
Yeah.
He gets in melee range, fights no problem, the rest of his team can come in. But when you have 3 melee cores against Wyvern, it means they can't ever be together going on the same target. You have to kill Zai first, and Zai's being very intelligent with his positioning in these team fights, being very far away. In fact, he's letting his supports run forward for him, and that's also where the Ogre pick synergizes with the rest of the lineup. Because Ogre's one of the few supports that can run in like that, take some damage, frontline for you.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Mid one, he's done so much work from dominating that mid lane matchup and then just going around and taking all the towers.
Dire's top tower
Has assisted in taking the mid lane. Now the tier 3 atop is going to fall.
This is looking very good for Secret. Normally, when you play against these Alk lineups and you make the mistake they did in the mid lane, that usually just spells doom for your team. That's usually the point where you've lost the game. The timing is hit, but kept up quite nicely as TNC are looking for a fight right now. They're all smoked up. Mid one still has the 10-second BKB. Still in a very
smoke up. They can get onto their own high ground, but instead they're going to cut through. They go straight for mid one, trying to cut, but he managed to get a fresh refraction off.
That's so much minus armor
for Gabby. Cuckoo, he's now dead as well. You can see these heroes with this minus armor stacking up. The tanky Sven, the tanky Legion Commander, they just turn into dust immediately.
The Sven was paper right there.
Yeah.
You didn't even really think that he had War Cry.
Dire's middle
Dies in like 3 hits,
Dire's middle barracks.
and they're definitely going to get another set of racks here.
Yeah, there's no question about that, I think.
Radiant's middle
They're going to buy back from the Sven, but there is no Cuckoo. Actually, they lost AU as well, so he's also going to have to buy back here. And even though they all bought back, they just can't get to that melee barracks in time. Another one falls.
And that's a 10k lead now. A lot of buybacks committed. Secret just need one little push to win this game.
tower is under attack.
This has always been the danger. Team Secret. I think their playstyle is only one way, but they're talented enough and experienced enough to be able to pull off a different look.
Yeah, TNC did force them to try something different for game 2 and game 3, but Secret, they only needed one game to figure it out.
Yeah. And another Roshan too, so that's very early Aegis and Cheese.
And TNC said, be more aggressive. That's the only way you're going to beat us. And Secret said, so be it.
Well, if we got to take the fast win,
How fast
guess we'll
does he
take
die
it.
here?
Gabby, very dead. Winter's Curse to make sure they get the extra hero every single time. Cuckoo's trying to get there to press the attack. Fortunately, he didn't take any damage. He was able to instantly blink during that Winter's Curse timing. So he is okay.
That's still 67 seconds down, though, for the Sven. And I really hope how Kyle talks about how everyone itemized on the side of Secret.
Yeah.
They went all in for this mid-game concept, this minus armor idea. And they were just like, Zai, we don't need you to deal damage. We just need you to sit behind people, get Winter's Curse off, get your Cold Embrace. That's your only job this game. They're like, we don't even need you to do it offensively. In a way, it's like their reset button.
Yeah, absolutely. Or their +1 button when they get a successful kill. They can always catch one more.
This is the opposite of greed. You have a core that is solely designed to only team fight.
Yeah. I mean, against 3 cores that only really do physical damage. In fact, Alchemist even has a physical damage nuke. You've got a 4 position that mostly does physical damage in the Furion.
Yeah, TNC had no idea that this was going to happen because they picked the 2 supports, and they're going to run into Cuckoo here. He dies so fast.
Armel trying to get away. Caught, bashed up by Nisha. Gonna try and go for Nisha here. He does have a Rage, though, and he's got Cheese in his back pocket. Team Secret not going to let up for a minute.
Armel decided to go for the Blink Dagger because I think he knows he has to get to the back line. What does it matter if he has a plate mail? That saves him for what, 2-3 hits max?
Yeah.
And the crux of the issue is they just can't deal damage because of this Wyvern. And again, it's set up in the draft where, you know, you have this, you have the 2 supports, and the strength of Secret is they just tell Zai, like, hey, I probably haven't played this kind of Wyvern before, but just do it. Because Puppey's telling him it's the perfect pick.
Yeah. Only having played that core Wyvern once before, and it was just before this tournament. You do have the, even if he gets the BKB on Sven, right? BKB blinks in, tries to go for
the armor problem.
As long as the Winter Wyvern is the one who's stunned, he can Winter's Curse the Sven to allow them to disengage, or he can just Cold Embrace.
Yep. Reset the fight.
Put a Lotus Orb on mid one. Let him do his damage. Just keep on poking like this. TNC is eventually going to be forced into a move.
And again, look at the positioning. Everyone hanging so far behind. They're allowing mid one to just go forward.
Yeah, he's desperately trying to farm up his BKB. He's got it now. So we're going to see a big move from TNC. They're going to need the perfect kind of initiation.
They need to get to the back line.
Zai is so far back there on a high ground area.
Armel has to just blink past everybody.
Yeah. Gonna start off poking in mid one here, but now they'll force that forward. Going for Tim's. Now
the 3-minute storm ball by YapzOr. It's a beautiful setup with the side blades. They all get vaporized. They do manage to get to the back line with Gabby, but there's that Winter's Curse and Cold Embrace. He's entirely countered during his full BKB duration here. Backs up towards the end of it. Now Cuckoo trying to go for the press attack. He's dead as well. Armel, last hurrah for him as he just jumps in and dies immediately. TNC call it.
Mid one just out here executing fools.
Very well done. Team Secret. Dominant game 1, dominant game 3 rather.
And you expect nothing less out of a championship caliber team.
Yeah.
The best teams in the world are the ones that are able to respond in kind. They're able to make the adjustments necessary. TNC, I felt like their concept for today was very good. They showed a